Here's Tilva again, the platform for hackable little text mode apps. I've been using it lately, testing it to build a browser, a text mode web browser, well, a text mode browser for the Gemini protocol, which is a little bit like the Gopher protocol. So here's what I have so far. I have the ability to go to Gemini websites like so. And as you can see, Gemini is a sort of line-oriented protocol, just like Gopher, where lines can be either links or plain text, or I think a couple of other types. But this is what I have so far, is just the ability to display websites as text. But I think the next thing I want to add is links. So each of these lines with an arrow in it indicates a link. And the first word after the arrow is the location of the link. And everything after that is just text. So let's see how I would go about rendering it. I actually have no idea how to do this, but we'll see. For starters, I'm going to go into edit mode. And let's quickly go over what we have so far, which might help me get my juices flowing, creative juices. Oh, the arrow keys don't work. They work on Linux. So here's main. The app starts in main. And the loop here, the event loop, consists of render and update. And when you go to render, it renders a page. And when you go to render page, it renders a series of lines. And currently, all render line does is print out strings. So I sort of have an architecture here in place, which will hopefully be helpful. All the arrow keys don't work. This sucks. What else do I want to show? Update. So here you can see what I did before, where I hit Control G and it makes a request using the Gemini protocol. And the Gemini protocol is fairly simple. This is where the networking is happening. One interesting thing about Gemini is that unlike HTTP, there is no unencrypted version of the protocol. So we're always going through SSL. And so all that is happening here. Anyway, let's go back. So I'm marking time as I think about how to do this. I think the global data structure so far is in main. So we basically have a list of lines and a URL. And I think what we need to do, we're going to have to create some state. So I'll just call it state for now. I'll call it state equals what else do we need? Well, let's get this working first. And get rid of these local variables. And we just do everything with locals for now. So now let's go look at Gemini get. Currently, Gemini get returns a list of lines. What we want to do is update the existing list of lines. So if line is nil, currently we return the error message as the only line in the result. There's no real special handling for errors. All we're doing is just throwing it on the screen so you can see what happened. The error messages in Gemini aren't very useful so far anyway, or maybe it's an SSL issue anyway. So if we have an error, I've already cleared the lines in state. So what I'll do is insert error into the lines of state and return. Okay, next, here's another result. And here what I'll do is that's a recursive call for a redirect. And we do the same thing here. Maybe we don't need the early returns anymore. Okay. So let's go back to main. I think we've done Gemini get. Let's go look at render. So right now we're tracking lines, but we'll stop doing that. And then we go into render page. And we do the same thing here. And hopefully this doesn't need any changes. Render line. Nope. Now let's go back to main. We do have update. So again, get rid of lines here. And then where do we have lines? This is just new lines. And finally, so if that's done, is this all done? Is Gemini get already looking good? It is looking good. But we are passing in a URL. Maybe that's okay. Where was I before? Update. Then let's get rid of state. Let's get rid of URL for now. Okay. Wow, no errors. Okay. Okay, we have a problem. What's the problem? Oh, right. Oh, right. URL. Is that it? No. One problem here is this control X. So the problem is that the first two menu options They are hard coded in the Telva framework. And so anytime I press Control X, it just quits the app. And so I shouldn't use Control X when I press Go. Over here, it looks like the Control X should just exit the Go, but it's not. Anyway, that's just a bad UI in the app layer, so we'll ignore that for now. Let's go back to main. So we start out with no URL. We go into render, and we go into update. In update, we just did Gemini get. Let's print nothing. Oh, let's try this again. I think the screen might be getting refreshed too quickly. Zero. So there's nothing here. So we do get there. Let's clear the screen. I think that's making things harder. So we got to 20. So we got a successful result. And so, oh, right. Did we not go into parse Gemini body? Oh, come on. Table inspected, got nil. 6. Oh, yeah. This is all very, very poor code. There's lots of duplication. But I do have this idea that I might want to do different things for text and gem text. But let's see. I really should just start with the default. Excellent. Okay, so it's printing again. Okay, let's fix the damn default. So now let's go to update. I think that's where we have some. No, render. No, where? Okay. Okay. So now let's start adding links. So now I have a global variable called state, and I'm going to add a variable called, call it cursor, call it highlight index, initialize it to -1. Now, where do I want to update highlight index? It's ugly, but for now we'll update it in render page. If line dot find, no, string dot find line one, then yes. So we're in render page. You found a line. Why are subsequent ones not showing up? So it prints the first one. Oh, the 1, 2 is at the end. Oh, that makes sense. And this happens to me a lot where I get confused by the prints I make. So let's get rid of that. And let's decide what to do here. If the line contains, then we want so let's start by just displaying. No, that's not right either. What am I trying to do? Okay, we just try to display it. And so line dot match. Let me check. Sorry, I think you can't see this, but I'm just looking up the Lua reference. Okay, and so G sub percentage S star, and then percentage some non-white space star, percentage S star. So I'm basically hiding the first two words in the line. Let's try it. Is it string.gsub? Oh. Okay, so at least it looks better. Now we have some architecture, but I'm not going to use it. String, no, curses dot add-on. One. Let's try this color. Oh, actually, I have a highlight for this 254. Oh, I haven't. Okay, so let's set that to the highlight color. No, that didn't help. 2. Use a background color of 8 and a foreground color of 'You know what? Let's forget colors for now. There we go. Okay. So now we're displaying links. Now let's start setting links. So let's set the highlight index to 0. If I equals state.highlight index, then else. Let me copy paste this. I can only copy paste one line at a time right now because of these line numbers which I need for error messages. is that not working? Oh, right. State Lua is one indexed. No, that didn't work. Oh, right. So the line is wrong. But let's just double check. Okay, that looks good. So where do we set highlight correctly? We could start out by saying that the highlight index is just a high watermark. So this is ugly as heck, but I greater than state dot highlight index and not. So the first time we come in here, when I is greater than the high water mark, let's update. Let's try this. Okay, that's looking good. Let's click the V index. Okay, so we have an what bookmark, what hotkey do I want to use to select? Let's go with enter. Gemini get state dot lines of state dot highlight. I know that highlight index will always be set correctly here because render's already been called. Dot let new, not let local new URL equals find, and we just go get that. So find, and what we want to do is grab this. And so string.find that didn't work. Enter Boston.atom. That looks good. Oh, I see. It's not valid URL. So we can't test this just yet right now. But that's fine. Let's, you know what? Why is the enter key not print key? Are you printing at 10 somewhere? We'll assume for now that this works. 10. Okay. So now I'm going to hit the down arrow. 258. Okay. I need to figure out constants in the Telva layer, but for now, let's just keep going. And what we'll do is we'll say state.highlight index equals state.highlight index plus 1. There's a whole host of problems here. For example, if we fall off the edge, then the highlight will disappear, which gives a crappy UX right now. And we can keep scrolling down without, while it's invisible. Anyway, let's keep going. That's not right. First of all, let's get rid of this. Maybe keep this around. So 9 is correct. What's the problem? Nine. Oh yes. Oh yes. But Oh, I think it's become a global variable. There we go. And ideally we'd show the URL somewhere. But anyway, we're getting too far ahead of ourselves. Let's go to the first one. Okay, let's first get rid of that. The getches. Where were we? I keep blowing my stack. Let's go to an absolute URL. I'm pretty sure this one is an absolute URL. Woohoo! It works. It works. Are there no links here? Why are the links not working? First of all, I need a mode toggle to show the sources. Let's just throw that in there. Menu, enter. Okay. Let's say that's hilarious, but let's see. Update. If key equals 21, then state dot and then so now we need to go to render page and let's try Control U. Did that do anything? It did take that away, but it hasn't changed how it renders. That makes sense. So we didn't go in there. Wrong place. There we go. So now let's go back to that page. What happened there? Oh, there's no link. So if I go down one more, let's debug. Let's display the link index. that's correct. So there's the 0 over there. 9. Okay, so I'm going to go to I don't know if this will work, but let's try it. Nope. Gemini.conman.org. Let's go to another one. Okay, that's a good way to restart it. So now we get all the way back up again. This is the first one, so we don't want that. Project Gemini. Oh, we're still at 33. Oh boy. State dot. It's a mess, but state dot. What am I trying to do? That didn't help. Why didn't that help? Because we didn't press Control G. We pressed Enter. There we go. And let's view. Now they're all absolute links here. Okay, let's do one last thing and we call it a day. Let's see. What is up arrow? 259. Okay. We can at least clamp upward pretty easily. Right. Okay. Excellent. And let's fix this as well. So now it displays over there, which is a little annoying. Okay, and so now it'll just always show there. That's good. Aha! We went to a link even though there was no text. Do I have trim here? Yes, I do have trim here. So if I go to render page, let new or rendered line. 11. Oh, where did I do this? Oh yes, we want to see what happens on an empty link. Yes, that's good. Okay, the amount of duplication here is getting pretty crazy. I need to extract out this render like logic and this render line logic. I think I'll stop here. This is a long enough video. Thank you.